Three of the Ultimate Gamer. My name is Upmine, joined here by Saber, and man, what a day of esports we have for you guys. It is going to be Valorant up here on the main stage, followed by Super Smash Bros. A little bit later as our kicker tournament, and what a weekend of esports we've had thus far here, Jacob.
It has been an amazing weekend, Upmine. You know, we've had so many different game types, we've seen so many different play styles, and I've had the time of my life. This tournament has been absolutely perfect in every aspect.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we've had 4 esports being shown throughout the weekend. On Friday, we had ourselves Call of Duty, followed up by Mortal Kombat, and then yesterday we had League of Legends, followed up by FIFA. So it's a marathon of esports throughout the weekend, and today it doesn't get really, any more normal than that. You have Valorant, and then follow that up with Super Smash Bros. A little bit later. I'm very excited for today, and I know for a fact that the players are ready and raring to go. Now, Saber, what has been kind of your first impressions of Valorant in the past couple of weeks? This is the first LAN tournament in North America for Valorant. That is absolutely huge.
That is huge, and my first impressions on the game, I think the game's great. You know, CSGO was never really my thing, but once I heard about Valorant and I saw the abilities and just the way the game was, I was like, okay, this looks like my kind of thing, and I gave it a chance, and I love it. And the fact that we get to be here commentating the first ever LAN in North America for this game is absolutely huge, and I'm ecstatic.
Yeah, I mean, for someone like myself coming in from Counter-Strike, and I've been commentating and following Pro Valorant very closely for the past couple of weeks, to be able to see kind of a taste of what LAN Valorant is like, it sets a precedent for, events of the future, how the formatting is going to work. Really, maybe even some of the players who do want to get into Pro Valorant, and really there are a couple of players playing around in the Pro Valorant circuit already, so we're getting a pretty good mismatch of players that are both new to the game, coming in from games like, your Apex Legends, your Overwatch, your Counter-Strike, and then we already have the veterans from Valorant technically, who have been playing over a month, have been playing this seriously, playing online tournaments, and really just starting to make a drive now that the game has been fully released.
It is kind of crazy to hear that even though the game's already been out for a month, we have some veterans.
Right, that's crazy.
I think today for the spotlight, I'm going to be looking forward to That's Nasty and Horror. If they're going to play anything like they did in COD, especially Horror, I'm expecting flanks. I'm expecting the slow yet really fast gameplay.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, kind of looking down the list, same thing with Dr. Oscope. He was, really good during the Call of Duty tournament. But again, ladies and gentlemen, this is a marathon of esports. This is a plethora of different esports being played. And yes, of course, Call of Duty was being played on PC, but now you're going into a little bit more of a ground-based, tactical FPS. Yes, there's going to be that ability play, but if you can just, NASCAR swing corners and tap some heads, I mean, this game is perfect for someone like that. And kind of looking down the list again, we're missing our favorite player from the weekend thus far. Personally at least, our man J Baby not playing up. Kind of introducing the two teams too. We have ourselves Rock Esports playing up against Team Wolves. Rock Esports, a group representing an actual esports company, and you have Team Wolves, just a group of guys who queue up, just like, where are we dropping? We playing Apex, we playing COD, we playing all that. So, you kind of have this, this cool mix of players, this cool mix of esports backgrounds, which, it's exciting in its sense. It's that cool concept for the weekend, but also just it all culminating with Valorant makes this all more special in a sense. I'm very excited to see what happens, at least in this tournament. And also, like how I mentioned before with the pro players, we have Jovi coming in from the professional Rainbow Six scene, previously representing Flipside Tactics earlier on in the game, and for the past couple of weeks, been really grinding Valorant. He wants to get into that pro scene, and this could be like a really good trial for him to be like, you know what, I already have that first LAN W under my belt, but also You're going to have to look out for some other teams too. You have ECG coming in, a full semi-professional Counter-Strike team currently playing in ESEA Open, if I'm not mistaken, top 5 at the moment. And, you know, a couple of players with advanced knowledge, with advanced experience, ESEA advanced experience. And most of the teams that have been winning Valorant tournaments for the past couple of weeks has been those semi-professional to professional Counter-Strike players that have been migrating over to the game, mainly because Valorant is very similar mechanically, but it also has a huge learning curve in terms of its ability play. Grenades are going to be pretty similar, but as someone like yourself coming in from coming in from Call of Duty, you know, what's the hardest thing about this game for you to kind of get used to thus far?
I'm pretty sure any Call of Duty player will tell you this, and it is the fact that you need to walk. You know, in a game like this, in a game like CSGO, those footsteps will screw you over.
Yeah, I would like to agree. I mean, especially we saw kind of the level of play coming in from Friday. It was literally just like hold down sprint, hold down W, and like press mouse 1. Certainly you can't do that in this game unless you're like among like top 1% of the world, you know what I mean? So that's not exactly gonna happen, but I'm certainly looking for some pretty sweet plays. Now, let's see if the teams are ready, and it's kind of weird looking around some of these players and looking at the screen. We have ourselves like a closed private lobby online. It's unfortunately not technically LAN, like they're not all like LAN connected with one another, but it's still that scene. You know, you're getting the fist bumps, something that we just haven't experienced yet in Valorant, and really not something that we've experienced for the past like 3 months in esports. So having that connection, having that, you know, that physical drive, and, you know, being able to kind of lift your teammates up, it's a vast difference from, you know, online tournaments, and especially in Valorant, where, you know, you could have at least some sort of training center, like a LAN house, and actually be able to practice. You can't put in that millisecond precision LAN timing just yet. You're gonna have to still deal with online, but it still is pretty cool.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, it looks like our players are ready. Map number 1 is underway for the Valorant tournament, day 3 of the Ultimate Gamer House. I am excited. How about you, Upmind?
I'm incredibly excited, and of course, up first we have Rock Esports facing off against Team Wolves. Both teams are going to be picking out some of their characters at the moment. We're playing on Haven, so expect sort of that meta dynamic. It's going to be, you know, your regulars, your sages, your breaches, your brimstone. The last two could be a little bit of a toss-up. You could insert the new character Reyna, even an Omen, a Raze. Really lots of opportunities. Same thing with Jet if you're just a sole fragger. But ladies and gentlemen, again, it's going to be that 3-site dynamic here of Haven that we're going to start things off and with this BO1 here in Winners.
And, you know, touching up on what we talked about earlier, Jay Baby missing from the Rock Esports squad.
Yes, sir.
We have our main man, Henry, a.k.a. Dad's Nasty, filling in. And he's actually kind of a little bit of a veteran in the CS scene, so I'm excited to see what he can pull out in this new game of Valorant.
Yeah, absolutely. A veteran in the CS scene. He's representing East Coast Gaming, and he's one of the head honchos here at Ultimate Gamer. And honestly, very, very happy to see him actually on the sticks, because again, coming in from Valorant to CS, it's not exactly a big jump. Not exactly the biggest jump, so he's going to have a pretty easy time here, at least at the very beginning, depending on what, you know, actual experience he has from Valorant. But yeah, I mean, we'll talk a little bit later on his whole biography and whatnot, because we do actually want to highlight him a little bit. He's been pulling in a lot of work for the weekend, but ladies and gentlemen, we do have our game. It's going to be that 2-1-2 split. No, it's going to be a 2-2-1 split going throughout the map. And ladies and gentlemen, we already have our first interaction. It's going to be flash fire. Along with his teammates holding down the site. He's a little bit slow to react, but he's still tapping heads anyways. The attacker's already down to 3. You have the Phoenix just wide swinging in. You still have Flashfire somehow still alive with 26 HP. American Grime being the last person remaining in this 1v4 horror. We were kind of touting his skills as a flanker, and there he is once again lurking around the map, getting himself a 2-piece to start off the game. First round going towards the side of Rock Esports.
You know, I think I'm starting to understand why his name is Horror. He is so scary to play against because he's either coming up behind you and you don't know it, taking out your entire team, or he's right in front of you, popping you right in the head.
Yeah, that's scary. That's scary to say the least. And lurkers in Valorant aren't exactly too common, but on this map, that dynamic with mid is going to be absolutely huge for you trying to take advantage of that flank over to both the C and A sites. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be our second round. You have Daddy Yoda, the one and only Henry, stepping up. Places down the boom, buddy, and still has that sheriff waiting to tap some heads. He has literally a player empty in his crosshairs. Just can't get a headshot on it. And still a couple players laying out over the long. American Grime, however, getting himself a two-piece after the players actually line up for him. And not just with any gun, that's the Stinger being used. So a little bit unorthodox. Mr. Fister, again, quite the name. We've been touting that for the past couple of days. And now it's Shinsa. He's in a 1v2, holding on to the Spectre. The spot one just literally wide swings him, gets the frag. There's not going to be a return frag from Horror. Instead, Shinsa still survives, recovers up a little bit more damage. Wide swings, and that's going to be Horror again. Huge lurk frags coming in from long, and that's a 4K for Horror immediately off the bat. 6-0-0 for him thus far.
You know, I think that was a really, really good play from Horror. He knew Shinsa took his player out in Garage, and instead of rushing him, he waited back, knowing that he had to try and get the bomb down. So I think waiting back near a site was just the perfect idea because he was able to get the kill and go up 2-0.
Yeah, for sure. And not only that, but Horror did have a little bit of, good discipline over too long because, even when you do get the flank, you do have a small chance of having some of the players lurk on back, just try to pull a really good fake. And actually, what is this? The Odin usage from Mr. Fister in quite the spot for it. He's going to be able to get himself first frag, trying to go for the second one, but Dr. Oscope shuts him down immediately. You still have Bad Rastus in the back lines. Still gonna have to go back. This attacking team, they have an opportunity to take back this site. Henry on the flank takes down American Grime, and now it's just down to a 1-on-2. Dr. Oscope, he was an all-star in Call of Duty. Let's see if he can pull it off in Valorant. Throws up a smoke in front of him. Still playing around with time. The flank's actually booting on real quick. One player over to long, one player over to short. They're covering up. Bomb is right in front of Daddy Yoda, aka Henry. Still 50 seconds left, still decent time. Has most of his damage with him.
Dr. Oscope doing really good with those jet abilities to try and get out of the way of that Raze watching A long.
Right, but this is a weird rotation here. You have 30 seconds left, and I don't know, potentially could get a flank here. Again, time is not in his favor, and he has a stinger. That's probably the worst part about this whole setup here. He literally, oh gosh, what is going on here, Dr. Osco? Clearly running out of time, and he's not going to be able to get that bomb by any means. Has to get these 2 kills if these players don't play out on time. But Bad Rastus could tap actually, using up the Guardian. Not exactly a gun that we've seen too much in professional play. It's mainly been the Phantom and the Vandal, but seeing the good old cheeky Guardian with that one-shot headshot. I like to see it now, my friend. A 3-0 start for Rocky eSports.
Yeah, that one-shot headshot is really deteriorating to a player. You know, you think you have the jump on somebody, you think you see somebody in their sights, but nope, that gun will take you out in one shot, neck up.
So here we go again. Next round gonna come into play, and you have more or less, oh gosh, I'm kind of looking around the map, seeing if there's, any significant setups, but look at his Bad Rastus, actually, with 2 kills over the mid, might be able to get himself another one, or is still waiting up on yet another flank. Mr. Fister, low on HP, there's still one more player remaining, and it is that Brimstone, it's Yamiasta representing the squad. Mr. Fister, he had almost no HP going into that interaction, 8 HP actually going into that interaction. A singular bullet would have done it to the body, and that's a little bit of a stomp. Gets that wide swing, and that's going to be a 4-0 for Rocky eSports thus far. Kind of looking around at the economy for the attacking side. Again, it's not too great. You have the downgraded LMGs going on. You do have a Guardian in American Grimes hand. You would like to see that get upgraded to a Phantom or a Vandal here, or potentially even an Operator. I think he has the cash for it, but he's just simply not going to go for it. It's going to be this lineup, a half buy of sorts.
You knew the economy was kind of lacking when only one player on the attacking side has shield and everybody on defense has full.
Valorant taps and heads with the Guardian. Attaboy! It's a 3-piece. Easy.
On C long with the Guardian. There is that one tap headshot we were just talking about, Upmind.
Right. Yeah, there's a very limited amount of guns that can actually pull off that one tap, and it just so happens to be that the Guardian will get in his hands. He's gotten quite a few frags with it thus far in this game. He's actually the top fragger for his squad. Now, Sucio 305 representing Miami. Currently in a 1-on-3, doesn't have any HP to work with. Again, he is playing up on Phoenix, so if he throws down a molly, could be able to heal up himself a little bit. Has the time for it too. He's in an isolated spot, but yeah, he has to play that bomb. Time is running out once again. His teammate had this same struggle in a sense a little earlier on, and this is sort of that non-Call of Duty mindset where it's just like, no, if I try to make my way onto a site, it's possible. It's not all that possible with low HP, unless you can heal up, which he could have a little bit early on. He has full equipment too, but it's going to be a 5-0 start with a singular bullet to the body, finishing it off. Rock eSports with a stomp thus far.
You know, I'm not even sure if Mr. Fister meant to have that LMG for so long. I'm curious if he bought it for one round and was just like, well, crap, I haven't died yet.
Absolutely. He's just cradling onto it, just like, you know what? If it works, it works. It is what it is, my friend. And now a 6th round on the board. The attackers are actually targeting this A side at the moment. Actually looking out for it is going to be Mr. Fister. He's taking way too long to put down a smoke, and he's all the way out in the open. That jet smoke, though, that's going to go completely against a good frag from Shinsa. Team actually firmly making their way on site. You do have Henry over in heaven. Throws on a boom bot, but it ends up not going out towards the outside like he wanted. Does spot one. Now he's tapping bodies. Looking for another one on site. That's going to be an easy frag, but he actually backs up a little bit. Had to get the wall bang, and now it's only a singular player remaining under heaven, and that's going to be a horror getting yet another flank over to long, and that's a 6th round for Rock eSports.
Henry didn't need to get that wall bang. He just needed to show everybody he's what's up with that sniper.
Sure. He would like to think that way. He's the boss around here, man.
But ladies and gentlemen, that will make it a 6-0 lead for Rock eSports in map number 1.
Yes, sir. And I kind of wanted to hear from you, though. Are there any, strong adjustments that you would like to see from the attacking side? Because it seems like really the big thing that they're missing. It might not even be just tactic at this point. It feels like it's more of a mechanical error.
I don't think they're playing their abilities the way they should. You know, you're not seeing the smokes or anything from Phoenix, his flashes.
Good molly, actually, from the Phoenix.
And I just feel like if they were used better, this would not be a 6-0 deficit.
Careful now.
Oh no! Wait, was that? He threw a molly instead. Could have thrown out a flash, but in comes Boris on the flank, ends up getting wide swung by that LMG by Shinsa. Bad Rastus, he's been playing up with the Guardian for the last couple of rounds. This time he has an Operator in, quickly getting himself a quick scope. Still has one more body to aim at. What is this? Whose orbital strike was that? Wait, was that his own teammate's orbital strike? They're off the peak over the line. Henry, however, still getting the last frag, and now it's just down to a 1-on-4.
Mr. Fister's just here to have a good time. Look at the gun he's using. He's using his ult on his own teammates.
He's here to have a good time, and the flank too. If I'm not mistaken, Bad Rastus, he was going for that. He was going for the knife, and okay, 7-0 start, and really couldn't be any easier for these defending players at the moment.
Yeah, Daddy Yoda really just showing everyone who's boss. You know, he may only be 6-2. But he's a menace with that sniper.
High impact frags. That's all you need to hear. He's got high impact frags this far, holding down that A site, usually along with his teammates. But Yeah, it's been a relatively easy game for the defenders thus far. A cakewalk of sorts. Henry, he's actually holding up in mid, and Shinsa. He's actually been pulling out a couple of frags for this side. Horror, once again, with yet another flank over to mid. Ends up getting found out. He's low on HP. Can't exactly heal up himself. He does have a player outside pressuring him. And Yamiasta playing that angle actually really well. Now you just have Flashfire CFG and Mr. Fister ready and raring to go. Does catch one. Now it's a 3-on-2. The spike has been planted really for the first time in this entire game thus far. There's a rough hold. See if the attackers can pull it off, and that's going to be a headshot angle coming in from the stage. Flashfire CFG has to help, and actually a pretty good crossfire. Susio waiting up, but somehow the kick off the LMG pretty much just magneting to the head, and Shinsa from behind gets the frag. It's going to be the good old Brazil-Germany scoreline, a 7-1 as Team Wolves actually pick up their first round.
That LMG up, mind.
Gosh.
You really don't see a lot of it, and it's not favored, but boy, does it pack a punch.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think we might be seeing good old Mr. Fister use up the upgraded one. I think he's still using the Odin, so it's all good. And we actually have 2 Odins being used on the side. Look how much money this defender side had, and look at the guns that they're buying. They have 3 Stingers and LMGs. They're all combining over to mid. 2 more players. The slow orb goes down too. Oh no, another player stuck. Mr. Fister. Are you kidding me, man? So many points.
Bad Rasta's 18-2.
Short. Bad Rasta's 18-2. Mr. Fister carrying the squad with a 7-6. God, what a play. Ladies and gentlemen, we have fun here. Players varying in all skill levels here in the venue. Some good, some real good thus far. You have Bad Rastus again, like you mentioned, with that 18-1 KDA. And really going towards that attacking side. I mentioned earlier that Shinsa has really been the one fragging for the squad. He's at the top at the moment. But Henry again! Come on, Shinsa though! I'm trying to get an angle on this. Pulled out the ult, and that's an easy 3K using that same LMG. Oh gosh, and now... It's a 2-on-4. No, 2-on-3 actually. I saw that old symbol. Okay, that's boring. But Dr. Oscope actually misses out on the ult, pulls out the stinger, and ends up getting the frag anyways. Dr. Oscope on a 1-on-3. Susio 3-5 goes down. Bomb is still ticking. Dr. Oscope around the corner. He has so much HP to work with. That's going to be an easy angle. Is he going to pick up another gun? No, he's just going to stick with it. He's got the dot eyes going. And, yeah. H2 scoreline here, Jacob.
If you take a look at the top of your screen, it looks like we have full ultimates on one squad and 3 on the other. So I'm assuming we're going to start seeing those pretty soon here, right, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, going forward in our tournament, I'm very much looking forward to the team ECG, who's currently, again, they're more used to the tactical FPS genre, and they also have a pretty good amount of experience in Valorant in this past month. So I'm kind of looking out for actual big tactics being used, actual big strategies, actual executes in a sense, because we're simply not seeing it at the moment. It's just kind of a slug set.
This Wolves eSports team seems to love the A bomb site, but Flashfire is going to look to his left and be able to take one out on A long. That is now 3 down. Make that a 2v2.
Oh god, Bad Rastus around the corner, however, has that Phantom. Try to play around. Oh, walls himself up above the site. Looking for that last player. Beautiful utility usage by Bad Rastus. And yeah, that's going to be yet another round. A 20 bomb, and we're 11 rounds in. Huge work by that Sage, Bad Rastus. And I mean, we finally saw an intuitive play from Bad Rastus using his own wall to boost himself up on that site crate. But Yeah, he's really just been fragging out, just tapping heads, and really nothing else that you need to do here. The attackers, wide swinging some of these sites, they don't have, you know, the complicated executes that you would see more in semi-pro and pro Valorant, and even then, both teams are kind of equally matched in terms of frags. You just have a hard carry coming in from Bad Rastus at the moment.
Mr. Fister looks like he will be using the Marshall.
Right?
He's just here to have a good time.
Yep. Shinsa, however, makes his way on, and still doesn't work out in his favor. You still have Flash Fire looking over to sight, and oh no, the raise ult goes in towards Long, but you actually do have a little bit of a retreat coming in from Yamiasta, and Dr. O-Scope. What was that jump coming in from Henry? Coming out of nowhere, and he's still able to get the frag. Now it's Dr. O-Scope with only 20 HP. That second updraft was actually able to make it onto site. He is almost peaked out of equipment. He only has 2 smokes to work with. He actually smokes himself off, but even then, Flashfire CFG comes up from behind, gets that last bullet in, and that's going to be another round, and that's going to be our half.
Awesome half from Rock Esports. Awesome half, you know, very dominant. And I'm not sure if you viewers at home can hear, but they are just laughing their butts off. You know?
It's banter.
They're all using LMGs and snipers and just they're having a great time.
Yep.
But we will be flipping sides. It is a 10-2 deficit in the way of Rock Esports. What does Wolf Esports need to do to tie this up?
I mean, if they want to tie it up, it's going to have to be, you know, at least a couple of gamble stacks coming in from the squad. They've kind of shown that, you know, utility usage isn't exactly their forte, but they do have players that could hold on to a couple of these guns. They can tap some heads, and we're going to have to see a showcase from them. We simply haven't seen the extremely flashy plays from Wolves. So at this point, just keep things simple. Good communication. That's really all that matters at this point. You have a couple of players walking out into the open. It looks like Headless Chicken. And even then, Team Wolves, that is a blunder and a half. You have no one watching over C, but look at this. This could be calculated. They're flanking over C long. Shinsa from behind. He's got the shorty. He does have a player right behind him, ready for that return frag. American Grime gonna heal up himself off of that nade. And still, there are players over towards C-Long, making their way over to site. Yamiasta goes down, and this execute is perfect from the attacking side. And knowing that there is going to be a little bit of aggressiveness coming in from both C-Long and mid, you know, kind of feeling it in a sense. They all hold it down, and that's going to be yet another round as a 2v5 retake for Dr. O-Scope and Susio. It's looking very, very unlikely.
That was just pure dominance from Rock Esports. They watched the flank. They were able to take out 2 players from Wolves on the flank, and they just completely bum rush C. And look, take a look at that mini-map. That is all Rock. They are all over that C site.
That is a full red squad. No question about it. Dr. O-Scope, I want to know what sense he's using. He's just looking all over the place. Jeez, man. 11-2. 2 more rounds until this map 1 of this best of 1 is over.
I would love to see some more frags coming from the way of Susio. You know, he's 2-13. It seems like a good majority of Wolves Esports are not doing so well in the way of frags. So hopefully they can just take a deep breath, compose, and aim for the head.
Yeah, aim for the head, forehead. Just get kills forehead. I mean, that's kind of the premise of Ultimate Gamer. You're gonna have players from, you know, different backgrounds coming together for a squad, and, you know, trying to see where their skill level is at. Really, the one well-rounded team that we've seen thus far has been that Team Blue that ended up taking Call of Duty from day one. Same thing with Team ECG, who again is that full CSGO squad, but they have a smattering of experience. But what a take onto this B site. You have the wall going up. You did have the slow orb on site. You have a Viper thrown down the smoke, or thrown down the cloud right in the middle of site, making sure that nobody can make make their way on. That's some good stuff, but now it's going to have to be this retake that they have to defend against. It's currently Bad Rastus, Horror, and Henry, aka Daddy Yoda.
That was an awesome wall from Rock eSports. You have 4 players from Wolves on C. You block off that entryway. There's only 2 ways to get in, but one of them's on the other side of the map. You completely block them off and you get that bomb down, but now it looks like we have a 1v3 on our hands. He's behind both of them. Daddy Yoda takes out one, but Shinsa will trade him out to make that an 11-3 scoreline.
Yes, sir. Good coverage too. Yamiasta getting that spike diffused, and really all the players there were just kind of meat shields for him. Planning not in the spot for Daddy Yoda either. Couldn't feasibly make his way on without having to get those wide swings. So it happens. Great retake, however. That 5v3 ended up going down to 2 players at the end. So we do have a little bit of a sign of life here from Team Wolves, as they are able to win out a couple of 1v1s over to mid after the fact that they were able to get kind of that sick take on site. So here we go. Attackers, most of them going over to mid. They're going to split that up. The defenders, they actually have a double hold short. That's unorthodox, to say the very least, but this also allows for a pretty quick flank. Uh-oh. Action is coming, my friend. Susio 305. He runs into a smattering of attackers over into Garage, and yeah, he just gets taken out. That's that C site absolutely for free. And now the defenders, they have to make this rotation.
That jet smoke coming from B looks to be a little blocked. That gives Bad Rasta information that Jet is to his right, but he gets a 2-piece. He's taking out Yamiasta and Shinsa in Garage.
Yeah.
Can he find any more from this position? And there's Jet. He takes out Dr. Roscoe, and he takes out the Sage.
Yep.
Bad Rastas, you animal! 3 off of dropping 30. Are you kidding me?
Easiest frags of this guy's life, man. Everyone just lining up for him. Good stuff, though. I mean, you didn't have communication coming in from that defending side, just being like, hey, there's one literally right above you. Watch out for it. And even if the communication was there, he was just in the middle of a gunfight. Great stuff with Bad Rastus. Tapping heads, getting a nice burst, not even needing to spray there, having to control the bloom. Man is just going nuts. A 4K in the round, and he's 3 away from a 30 bomb on land. Not unreal.
Look at the guns that Team Rock is using.
Unreal. Everyone using up the Bucky, and that's even the downgraded shotgun too. You have the Judge waiting up, but these guys are ready and raring to go, and you actually do have a little bit of a flank coming in from Shinsa. He has the ult up. He'll be able to get one. Perfect spray from him. Picks it back up. Still looking for more. Great nade from Daddy Yoda. That's at least going to restrict the bleeding as 2 players go down for the price of 1. Now Spike is going to end up going down over to C, but man, a pretty bad start. Seems like the attackers, they were pretty much ready for an approach over to mid, but again, they got shotguns. They can't exactly retaliate with just a long range. Halo bullets, but Dr. Oscope with that stinger does take down Horror. Yamiasta goes down Sue. Oh, okay. Mr. Fister around the corner. Ends up using up that shot. Time is ticking. Oh no, Mr. Fister! You're in such... Oh my god, he was such an advantageous position. Couldn't have done... What? Oh, flash! Fire! With the 2-piece! Come on! We got Bucky. We got players using equipment point blank. It is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be easy frags, easy games for Rock eSports, and Team Wolves, they're going to walk away from this with a little bit more experience in Valorant, but a position in the losers bracket.
I honestly thought Flash Fire was going to lose that. When he took out the Sage, he had no more ammo. I have no idea how the Jet allowed him to put one more bullet back in there and piece her in the face.
Yeah. That happens, especially if you can just, First of all, he was jumping, and he was moving, and he was shooting at the same time, not controlling that spray. He was a little bit shook. He was just a teensy tiny bit shook, and ended up going up against him, and being also that bad Rastus. He wasn't the one to get the frags at the end. Flashfire actually, in terms of combat score, ended up tying with Mr. Fister, which I really don't know how combat score is even calculated. He had an 11, 8, and 2 KDA, but again, highlight for this game, of course, is going to be Pat Rastus on that 27, 5, and 7 KDA. Shinsa, the MVP for the attacking squad, actually second overall in the game, 19, 14, and 4. So you at least have some sort of shining example on that team. Dr. Oso also did come alive a little bit near the end of that game. So, I mean, hopefully this team can kind of group together going into losers, because man, what a game that we have coming up next. However, it's going to be a team of all-stars and our boys, Team Blue, going up against ECG. This is a game that could potentially end up in grand finals. We're putting in round 1 of winners. So, ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned, as we'll be right back as the two teams set themselves up for game number 2 of winners bracket. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ultimate Gamer Day 3. My name is Upmine, joined here by Jacob, aka Saber, and we have yet another big game here of Valorant, and it's going to be what might be the grand finals. Well, what would be our grand finals, but it's happening round 1 of our tournament.
Yeah, Team Vikings.
Not live? Huh.
Oh.
Weird champ. Weird champ. Well, just in case.
Team Viking versus ECG eSports. This is the matchup we wanted to see. As you said, on Team Viking, we have Asian Brom, and we have Jovi, we have Ro, we have AJ2K, and I'm not entirely sure who our 5th player is. I can see the back of his head, but on ECG...
It's that same lineup. It's that same lineup that you guys might know from the ECG, ESC Open team. We have ourselves Bino, Hornet, Lift, Benji, and I'm missing out on that 5th player too. So we're all forgetting names. If I'm not mistaken, it might be Macaroni, but it is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been chilling out all day, and this is the first Valorant LAN, NA LAN at least, from what we know of, and yeah, semi-professional and professional Valorant has had quite the interesting couple of weeks. Bigger organizations picking up squads, and now that we actually have our first LAN tournament, we have 2 teams that might as well be poised to take away this entire tournament. And ladies and gentlemen, Ultimate Gamer, just to set up in general, it's been a marathon of esports throughout the weekend. Day 1 we had Call of Duty Search and Destroy, and what else did we have? We had Mortal Kombat 11. Day 2 was League of Legends and FIFA. And today, of course, you guys are watching Valorant. And our kicker tournament that is going to be starting after this best of 1 is going to be Super Smash Brothers. It might be doubles, it might be singles. Do not know just yet. But, ladies and gentlemen, this game is not live. Of course, this is a technical pause, at least for us. Might be a production issue, or a player might be having some issues there on the server. But we'll figure it out real quick. Wanted to hear from you, Saber, though. What is kind of your first impressions on the weekend thus far?
Absolutely amazing. I've said this a million times, but the skill gap is awesome to see. I come from COD and pretty much only COD, so I'm not used to seeing a big diversity of the way it's played. I mean, this game is supposed to be played slow and stealthy, and you're supposed to plan your abilities and plan your attacks, and we are seeing that. But I also love seeing the joke plays, you know, the 5 stack of Buckies, the LMGs, the Marshalls, and I'm loving this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, that first game we had a little bit of just buggy strats, you know, booting it down mid, or buying up those joke guns. But I don't feel as if we're gonna have really any of that BM going on in this second game, because again, these 2 teams, they have a smattering of semi-professional players. ECG mainly coming from Counter-Strike, but coming in from the what's their new name? They actually got a new name this time.
Team Vikings.
Team Vikings. So Team Vikings, they have a smattering of Call of Duty semi-professionals and amateurs. You have Jovi coming in from the professional Rainbow Six scene, who, not just the professional scene, but earlier on representing an organization known as Flipside Tactics, a team that I know personally for their moves in Counter-Strike, getting themselves a couple of major placements, and he also had a couple of W's, was able to catch himself a bag with the squad. So now he has been moving over into Valorant, and this is really his first real test in terms of tournaments. He hasn't been participating in too many bigger online tournaments just yet, and it's going to be quite fun to see where this guy who's coming in from Rainbow Six had the dedication to Rainbow Six kind of move over that same pace of dedication, that same skill set, try to see where it kind of transitions into Valorant.
Yeah, and if any viewers at home have paid attention to Jovi and Asian Brom's Twitter, you would know that after Friday, when they won the Grand, they were already looking forward to the next. They are ready to come and dominate, because a game like this is their playground.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you talk about it being a playground in a sense, and Sure. I mean, some of these CS players don't really know what sort of experience they might have in Valorant, but kind of looking at the culture of the open scene, the ultimate, the intermediate, the main, the advanced, even the MDL scene from ESEA matchmaking. It's been more or less a migration to Valorant, or at least trying out Valorant. So it should be all good in a sense. We are going to be, moving over in the server in a little bit of a tech pause. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back here on the mic as we try to fix things up.
That's it. That was it. And we'll not to see this. And perfect. All right. If you want to use Twitch, I can bring you a laptop, or if you want to turn it on.
It's been scrapped up throughout the weekend, and I'm kind of glad that we have this whole studio setup where it's more of a controlled environment. You know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, it's your man Upline. I don't know if you guys could have heard us at the very beginning of the broadcast, but yes, it's day 3 of the Ultimate Gamer. My name is Upline, joined here by Saber, and yes, once again we have Valorant stepping up, and again, I am more or less more intrigued in this matchup going forward. What's up? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Also, the funny thing is, yes, we're here on the mic. Yes, we are commentating, but we're running the sticks. We're actually going to be the ones observing. In comparison to the other days where we did have, third parties looking over for us, now it's a lot more streamlined. Now we actually get full control of the server. Now, personal experience, coming in from Valorant in at least its early stages of observing, it hasn't exactly been the best experience, especially coming over from coming in from Counter-Strike, where we just have the quick accessible 1 through 0. But now at least they've been fixing it up little by little, and that's kind of the intriguing thing for me about Valorant in general. The devs are always listening. They're listening for input, and especially producers and observers. They've been telling Ryan just like, hey, we need more options in terms of of just observing. We want ease of access in a sense. So it's been a little bit easier as the game was formally released, and surely makes our jobs a little bit easier.
Yeah. Kudos to you. I could not figure out for the life of me how to control this game from this keyboard.
Yep.
So.
Well, I mean, sure, control it with a keyboard, period, because, of course, you yourself come from Call of Duty, but for someone that has observed a game like Call of Duty, you almost literally all you have to do is just like go up and down the names, press A, and that's it. That's all you really need to do in terms of observing. So, as we go through, kind of the lifespan of this game, things are just gonna get easier and easier, and I'm all here for it, folks. Jacob, what is kind of your impression thus far of Valorant this weekend? Because we have a smattering of talent. It does seem like this one is gonna be your front row seat to a pretty competitive match.
That first game was it was pretty interesting. Despite it being a pure dominance from Team Rock, I enjoyed it. It was fun to see the competitiveness, but it was also fun to see the laughs and just, like you keep saying, fist bumps all around. But this match, this right here, this is what we're all waiting for. Even though it is only game number 2, I think this has the potential to be the most competitive game of the day.
Yeah, of course, this is still the first round of winners. We still have some more games to go, and of course, the teams, the players are going to get more and more familiar with sort of the format, with each other as opponents, because of course they faced off against each other in Call of Duty, but that's a whole other war field, ladies and gentlemen. We are finally going to get our picks for our attackers and for our defenders. We are going to be going to Haven once again, that 3-sided map, and coming in from CS, at least myself, a 3-side map. It is quite the change, but they they've streamlined the map in a sense where most rotations are, you know, super quick. It is possible to hold down at least over to B. It is possible to just hold it down with like one player with just a multitude of equipment. So you would like to see a Sage hold it down there, maybe even an Omen or a Viper. But, you know, towards A and C, you're going to have that regular two-player dynamic, either towards, you know, for C at least, split between long and garage. A, you're going to split between short and long. So it's relatively straightforward, this map, when you start to practice it a little bit more. And, you know, hopefully we can get a little bit of showcase of that, as, ladies and gentlemen, we do finally have our map live on the defender side. We do have ourselves ECG stepping up and the Vikings on the attackers first.
I do believe that since we do have a full team of CS players, and then the other team, we just have some CS players, some Rainbow Six players, and just players who know to play strategically. I think this game we are going to be seeing a lot more use of abilities.
Yeah, absolutely. It's certainly going to come down to actual in-game experience, and from what some of the players have touted, it's been quite a hectic couple of weeks just trying to play around this game, just trying to practice in both rated and unrated. But here we go. We actually have our first interaction over to mid. It's Hornet. Gonna be wide swinging off of his own flash, but even then just can't tap the head of Leaves. An interaction over to long. He's going to leave Asian Braum with a frag too, and an opening over to that long side. Lift is going to be the only representative here, and we actually have a lurker going on right now. Row over to mid. Lift playing around the smoke. Spike is going to go down, but he has a huge advantage point. Still playing ring around the rosy with some of these players. Couldn't exactly get the frag, but now it's a 2-on-3, a little bit more equalized. There's a huge flank going on at the moment. Oh boy. I think that's AJ. I mean, I don't know who Ensalada is, but all I know is that Rowe, he's been someone who's been tapping heads thus far this weekend, does end up getting that first kill, now leaves. It's a Cypher v Cypher battle. That camera spot, it's not gonna work out in his favor, as it was covered up by the box over in short, and Ensalada, man, I mean, again, want to name, but Ensalada gonna take it on back for the squad. If I'm not mistaken, that would be, looking around the lineup, don't really know yet, because you do have some players who are left around from the last set of games, like you see like Bad Rastus. Clearly Bad Rastus is not gonna be playing again.
Yes.
Yeah, this is gonna be rough for us.
As I had just mentioned, I think we saw more abilities in round one than we did all of game one. So, but yeah, perfect take on the A site. You have Brimstone Smoke, you have the Cypher camera trying to help you out. As you can see now, you have Ensalada setting up on the C site. Looks like this round is gonna get underway. We have Jet Smokes and Brim Smokes going up mid.
Good split. Good split to say the least, and it's very aggressive. You have Mac playing around the box. Wasn't able to get the frag, but he at least spotted out a lot of info. That's going to be at least 3 players confirmed out over to mid. 2 of them left at the moment. It's going to be Asian Braum and AJ2K to try to take this one back. You have the Marshal in the hand of Asian Braum. Asian Braum, a player who has, you know, kind of touted his own sniping prowess. But it's not exactly going to work out in his favor. Over to mid. Ensalada peeking out mid. That's going to be a quick 2K for him over to mid.
Ooh, with the T bag he adds on up mine.
Little tiny bit of BM. It wouldn't be land without the BM.
The classic T bag. I come from an age of shooting bodies. You don't see the T bag as much.
Sure.
So it's always nice to see it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Very excited. And okay, if I'm not mistaken, yes, Ensalada is Benji from the ECG side. I'll still try to get some more info, because literally, this is the fun thing for us. We don't have to worry about, you know, looking up tags. We don't have to worry about looking up ESCA pages. We can literally look over our shoulders and be like, oh wait, those are the players. Yeah, like right in front of us.
Cage triggered.
So it's a third round. Early equipment usage. You have Ensalada with a pretty good cage, at least just allowing him to play ring around the rosy. Don't really know what these smokes are towards sight. He's going to cover up the wide swing spots at least. But it's going to be more or less a fake, as all of the attackers essentially Really, all of them making their way over to that A site. Mac is going to go down immediately. Rose still looking over to mid with yet another flank. Able to step on back from that flash. The attackers are going to end up taking that A site, and Solana, a.k.a. Benji, spraying down Row.
He's going to pick up that Vandal from Phoenix's dead body. Jethro is going to spot one from top A.
Trades out over to long. That's going to be AJ with a 2K. Now it's just all going to be down to Lift. Tries to land on down, and it simply does not work out. And you do have the pop-offs coming in from the Vikings team as they do snag themselves their first round of this game.
As you can hear from the Vikings squad, they are fired up. They are down by 1 round, but by no means are they out in any way, shape, or form. Both teams are playing amazing. Both teams are playing the way the game should be, and I am very excited to just see how close this game could possibly be.
Now this round, we're gonna see a little bit of a, a little bit of an economy, half buy, I guess you could say. It's going to be the double sheriffs, and even then you still have Phantoms and a Vandal laying around for the squads. Getting full armor on almost anyone. Almost everyone. There goes Benji. It does take one back, and he actually uses up his ult. Getting a lot of info at least, but that's pretty much going to be a, I'm not going to call it useless, but it's not exactly the best time for it, as they already know for a fact that there's going to be players, all the players, over towards that A site. Jovi does take down the player known as Bad Rastus, but we'll actually get a tag for you guys soon. Benji. Great usage of the camera. Oh, okay, this cage is going to allow a little bit of space for them to work with, but that's 11 HP. You have AJ2K around the corner, but now Lift 1v2. Spike still hasn't gone down yet. So much time to actually work with. Could have gotten it down, but in comes Jovi, his 3rd frag of the round. That's a big one. 2-2. Oh, wait. wait, did you see that? Oh, wait, that's not just me. Yo, high key. Yes, we do have a cheats down on the server, but Jovi just no clip for a second, like on accident. Oh, gosh. We'll check for malicious behavior soon, but it's all good for now.
Great frags from Jovi that round to tie the game up 2-2, and just little plays like that is why Jovi is proving to everybody here and everybody watching at home why he could be potentially the next big thing in Valorant.
Yes, sir, and he pops off over a tap over to mid. You're still going to have Mac watching over mid. Great smoke coming in from the brim. He does have a teammate helping him out. What is that open plan? But even then, Jovi swinging on around, catching himself 2. And it's only 1 player remaining. It's Benji in a 1-on-4. He only has a sheriff to work with. I mean, realistically, this is a deco buy, or an eco sheriff buy from this squad. Now he's in a 1v4, still in around, would have to tap some heads, but he's certainly not going to go for it. Wouldn't be surprised if he just tries to go for the economic damage and tries to get a couple of exits. Okay, does catch one. AJ2K, he was already low on HP, but in comes an extreme wide swing from Row. Ends up getting that headshot. 3 players surviving for the attacking side. They've turned a 2-0 deficit to a 3-2 lead, but now it's a big buy round for the defenders.
Yeah, I was just about to mention, I was like, look how even the economy is looking, but then that just got diminished from about 4,000 or 5,000 to 200. So it looks like a lot of people are going to be buying stuff this round. Going to see a lot of guns blazing. Looking like we're seeing a lot of Vandals and Phantoms on the battlefield right now.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of how the meta is going to work. Those are the 2 main rifles, and wowzers, big kill from again, whoever Bad Rastus is. Ended up getting that opening frag over to short. That peek is realistically only really able to be done by that Jet, as short and long, both positions that are immediately accessible to the attackers. So good usage again of that updraft and using that quick dash to get him out of there. Ooh, okay. This Cypher incredibly close. That's going to be Leaves in a 1v1 against Bad Rastus. Oh, big updraft again. He has the high ground, man, but he's still not able to get anything out of it. But now here comes Jovi. He has himself that ult. He does end up going down, but not without a kill or 2. 2 frags for him on the round, and now it's just down to Hornet in a 1-on-3 retake.
Yeah, Jethro thought he had the play, throwing down his smokes and using his dash up, but Jovi said no, 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 taking out 2 players from ECG, turning it into a 3v1 in favor of Team Vikings. Sensei is gonna back up.
Yeah, he has to save. Yeah, surely a save. You know, spikes planted, certainly just doesn't have time. Also, the economy for this squad, almost negligible. So to kind of see him stay back with a Vandal, also in a pretty good position. Not full saving either, just gonna try to go for a frag or 2, but no one's actually gonna approach that spot. Everyone going over to long, they're gonna save up. It's gonna be yet another very strong W for that Vikings team. Now, going forward, this again is gonna be yet another scrappy round. Again, expect the SMGs, expect the Sheriffs, as again, they're not gonna be able to realistically buy rifles without having to, you know, restrict their own equipment. And actually, they go for the almost a full eco, upgraded pistols in the hands of the defenders.
If you noticed what Leaves just did at the end of that round there, he tracked back and made sure to pick up one of his trip mines. You know, that will lead into the next round. So if it saves you some money, it saves you some money, but Zulu is going to pop Enchilada right in the head, leading the garage.
Where did this come from AJ? We've been missing out on this for the past couple of days, but now here comes Hornet off the ult, and he catches 2 from garage. He's still on his own. But look at this, spray down through the cages.
I know exactly.
Couldn't get the frag, and in comes the Cypher. The Cypher ult, still expecting a frag over to mid. That's Jovi. Hornet runs right into it. Again, his position was compromised, but so much time left in that round. Bomb was taken out by that attacking side. Again, good retaliation from Hornet, using that Phoenix ult, you know, getting that duplicate, running out over to mid, seeing what kind of frags he could get, made full extension of it, getting 3. But now, it's going to be a lot more feasible of a round for the East Coast gaming side. They have double operators. That's going to be a split between Benji and Bad Rastus, depending on where he's playing. Yeah, Benji playing over to B, Bad Rastus over to A long. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Benji, however, is playing up on that Cypher. Cypher is going to be pretty much the perfect character to play on this C site. Does end up getting 1 kill over to long, some isolated 1v1s throughout the map. Oh yeah, ECG. Without even having to approach towards any of these sites, they already have a 2-man advantage. Another one from Benji. He's popping off.
Yeah, Benji just holding down that C long with the sniper. Now that Jovi has been taken out, Jovi's gonna let his teammates know, do not go that way. I believe they're gonna try and hit mid now while we have Sulu watching garage.
Yep. Oh, great flash. Oh, and he gets demolished by Hornet. Great usage of that equipment again. And that's, again, quick, clean, and simple. It's a 1-on-5 now for Rowe. Rowe currently at 5 and 6, but he has had some high impact frags to say the least, and he was an absolute legend back in our Call of Duty Search and Destroy event. Again, he was using that mouse and keyboard, so he is quite used to this setup, but not able to get that last one. It's going to be a flawless round coming in from the ECG side. They still hold on to the double operators. Barely equipment used over towards that A side either, so if I'm not mistaken, there's going to be 2 players there that are just going to be perfectly saving. And they're actually going to play up with a little bit of an unorthodox split. 2B, 1 over to garage, 1 over to C. That makes sense. And only a singular player looking over to A. And that's going to be the Jet, which, again, does make a little bit of sense. All depends on what kind of rushes are going to go down. Benji, again, looking over to mid. That pixel spot. You have to have such precision to actually play up on a spot like that. And he's got it. Not able to get the frag, though. And look at this. Oh, the ult being used by the Phoenix. That's going to get a lot of info, and not only just info, but a lot of space from garage as Benji has to back on out, although it's not going to be used up all the way. It's going to be an approach over to the B side. Now it's only 1 player remaining, and it's Asian Braum, a player that we've known to use up that sniper, but now he's sneaking around with a rifle, does wait around, is able to get 1 off the Ninja, but a Hornet from mid gets that last frag onto Asian Braum. ECG on a little bit of a comeback. They have 2 rounds in a row. The operators again saved up. The economy is looking way better for this defender side.
despite Team Rock losing that round. I just kind of want to mention AJ2K or Sulu using taking perfect advantage of his Brimstone smokes. He smokes off Garage, not letting Benji pick anybody. He smokes off the entry to B, not letting anybody on ECG kind of know where they're going, and he gets them down immediately. Perfect way to use a Brimstone, but here we're gonna see Jethra block off B mid with her wall, but Asian Braum is going to take down Benji. Looks like
Jovi alone again. He's just going for frags. Yet another wide swing towards that site. You do have Hornet waiting up on C. Great flash. AJ2K tried to get the wide swing. Jovi, it was actually brought back by his teammate, and he immediately gets destroyed by Hornet. Yet another great flash. That's a 4K for Hornet, but he still has to get 2 more for the 6-man ace. Unreal hold from Hornet over to Garage. And he actually pulls out the ult. He's gonna go hunting. There's a player over to his right, does skip over him. All the players are running away. Oh, that's the 5K for him. He does go down, but he still has 100 HP to work with. Are we going to see a 6-man ace on land? Still in that 1v1, and he does!
Yes, we are!
Unreal! Hornet with the 6-man ace. He ties up the game 5-5 for ECG. And there you go, Jacob. We are witnessing history here on stage. I haven't actually witnessed in commentating online tournaments. I haven't seen the 6-man ace yet. Hornet does it on land.
What did we tell you, ladies and gentlemen, about Team Vikings versus ECG? ECG was up 2-0. Team Vikings brings it back to a 5-2, and it is now a 5-5 with Hornet getting a 6-man ace. This is perfect esports.
Yep, perfect esports, man, and that's what you like to see from this Ultimate Gamer event. Multifaceted talents, players that can go from game to game and still dominate. I mean, Hornet yesterday, he participated not only League of Legends but also FIFA, actually winning up some more points for his team in that miscellaneous kicker event. And now in Valorant, of course, a little bit more towards his comfort zone and a tactical FPS, able to hold things down. But now the site has been taken. That is the B site, and now you have a huge retake going on. Oh no, Jovi. Let's get an eye on him. He does have the ult going for him. He is able to get himself a couple of frags. Oh boy. Again, still healing up. Still 1 more remaining. It's going to be Benji in a 1-on-2.
Did he just shoot through that box to take out Asian Braum?
A little bit earlier, yeah, but that second shot didn't end up connecting. AJ, though, holds it down for the squad, and that's yet another big round. That is a statement round from the attackers. After getting slapped up by Hornet Sensei over to Garage, that team comes back in an extremely clean take over to that B site, and they make it look easy. That's a 6th round for them, and they maintain the lead.
Jovi having a little bit of a slow start to this game. You know, I think he was 1-3, 1-4 at one point, cannot exactly remember, but now top fragging with 13 kills. He is letting everybody know why Valorant is now his choice.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout outs to Jovi, man.
Shout out to Jovi indeed.
Yeah, jumping from game to game, and especially R6 to Valorant is going to be a little bit daunting, but he's used to the ability play, and there still is a lot of mechanical, tactical FPS skill used in that game, so I'm not surprised that he's really pulling up in this game again. 13, 7-2 is his KDA, and again, he's, if I'm not mistaken, 2nd on the board overall for the server this far. But this is a lot slower round from the attackers. Very methodical, waiting up for some early equipment usage from the other side, just kind of, waiting up for those resources to get wasted. But you still have Lift playing around this site, sensing the fact that there could be a couple of attackers over to mid. He has 2 players already rotated up with him. This is going to be quite the war on B if the attackers do end up going there. Again, Spike still in the back lines. You do have Benji catching back a frag. Still looking for more players over to mid. Does have Jovi around the corner. That's 2 for Benji. He's been huge with the operator thus far, but all the attackers have abandoned ship. That's going to be an approach over to that A site.
I know exactly.
Yeah, definitely a smart call from Team Viking to realize Benji is taking them out
huge orbital
in mid
strike.
and rotating it over to A, but the orbital strike is going to be brought down on A. Team ECG knows that he's there. There is 12 seconds left in the round. Team Viking, you need to get this bomb down. AJ2K putting it down right now, but getting taken out by Ensalada. Mac taking out Rowe. and the defenders will win that round, tying it up 6-6 up mind.
Yes, sir. That last little delay of time with the orbital strike over to long, that's going to delay them from making their way on site. And time was already fragile. They had to make their way on. They had to clear every single angle on that site after the very quick rotation from the defenders. And it ended up being the bane of their existence as, again, the Brim ended up going huge, catching one last player on site, Rowe, who was trying to clear out everything. And now we do switch over sides. It's a 6-6 tie half.
I would have loved to have seen maybe more ults. If you took a look at the top of your screen, you would have noticed that ECG had 4 out of 5 ult, while Team Viking only had 1, and they only really used their Brimstone.
Well, yeah, and it happens. Well, if you just want to use up that full just aim, I guess.
Perfect use of the orbital strike, though. It completely stopped Team Viking and did not allow them to get that plant.
For sure, great timing too. We've seen a couple of players who aren't exactly used to kind of this format of tactical FPS use up equipments in very unorthodox positions, but some of these guys, they're veterans to the genre. They already know that they at least have to be a little bit hidden, and with how Brimstone is, it does take a little bit of time to actually pull up that screen, tap up a spot, and again, he took his time. It was very patient, but now it's a pistol round, ladies and gentlemen. Mostly Ghost on the server, but we do have Leaves, AG2K, and Asian Brom holding back with Classic, opting to get more equipment going. And it's going to be a perfect take. You look at the equipment usage on site, that Brimstone using up all 3 smokes, 1 over to window, 1 over to short, pretty much covering up that site purely just to get that bomb down. And great stuff from Jovi, running on down, immediately taking down the player under Heaven. And now there's only 2 players remaining. It's Benji and Hornet just holding down that site, waiting for the spike to be tapped. It's realistically only going to be Hornet that has an eye on that site. And there you go, Jovi, Asian Brom, both catching those last frags. The defuse gonna come in strong. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the defenders, the Vikings, they take round 1 of half number 2.
What a round it was. You saw Hornet, just spraying through all those smokes, hoping to find something. You have Jovi using his abilities to take out their Sage and tagging up one of the players on A long and having Asian Brom get the trade, and just perfect setup, and Asian Brom and Jovi still with that duo mentality.
Yeah, absolutely. Going from game to game, and those two are just pure fraggers, man. And same thing with Rowe. I've been kind of touting them in terms of their experience in game, and yeah, it certainly did work out in their favor. And look at that. It's going to be a free pickup of that ult, or of the orb. So that's going to boost up this Jet ult a little bit. You still do have someone on site holding it down. Okay, oh boy, what a battle now. The Cypher wide swings, and that's going to be Leaves with a perfect frag, an easy frag at that. Now it's a 2-on-4. You have Jovi with the judge taking down Lift. And now there's only 1 player remaining. It's Mac, and he's in such a sticky position. 2 players over to B. Oh, and they know he's there.
He has no abilities. He's pinned. The wall is blocked off. They're jumping over at him. That round will go the way of Team Viking.
Love it. I love Leaves just like wide swinging that, like kind of Georgia the Jungle style. Just grab onto a vine, swing on in, catching, tapping some heads. And that's going to be that play at least.
I guess that's the way you could put it, because it's what it looked like.
Worked out in his favor for sure. And this is going to be a pretty weird round in terms of guns for the defender side. They won out, they won out 2 straight rounds pretty much perfectly without losing out on too many players. So they're going to hold on to whatever guns that they had before to at least keep that economy stable. And even if they do end up losing, they're going to be able to reinvest pretty easily into the round after. Now Jovi, however, who was holding on to the judge, ended up getting that first frag. And now it's just a cakewalk for him as he easily upgrades to that Phantom. And the attackers currently on Vandals and a singular Phantom, as this take is actually about to go down on the A site. Oh, what a flash! Oh, baby!
Bro, with the 3-piece on A long! You absolute animal!
He's nuts. With the SMG! With the Spectre! Come on, and then he finally picks it up. Last kill going in for AJ2K. Oh yeah, that's a statement W. They're so pumped about that. Asian Braum in the middle too. He's just like, yo, that's my guy. That's my guy. That's my boy. Yeah. The score is a good old nice 6-9. And even after that last round, again, I told you that there are going to be, you know, guns being saved. And now that they were able to, you know, kind of reset the other team in terms of cash, they can still hold on to those SMGs, and it's going to be even more useful than that last round. They're facing up against those Deagles, hold up, you know, a couple of corners, and it's going to be easy money for these players.
Yeah, you know, I'm hoping since ECG has a 5-stack of Sheriffs and it is a one-shot headshot, I'm hoping they're going to be playing this maybe a little bit slower, maybe like you had mentioned, playing their corners a little better, but it looks like one is already going to be taken out while Hornet has low health. Bad Rastas is also going to get taken out, making it a 3v5. Jethra double flashed a short, rotating up Mac. They are dropping like flies left and right. Jethra is in a 1v5 by herself on the A site.
Yeah.
Is this winnable?
Nah.
Not so sure.
Not so sure. If he could tag some pads, it could work. There you go. Quick one already.
Shows Asian Braum, who's boss,
Short.
a short.
Oh, okay. Okay. Leaves though. He's actually, you know, getting headshots long range with a Spectre. It's a little unorthodox, but he can nail it. He can make it work. Are they going to upgrade the guns? Yes, they are. You're going to have a smattering, really a variety of rifles in that defender side. You have the Phantoms, you have the Vandals, and you even have an operator. The operator that we've been waiting for so long for Asian Braum. Asian Braum went absolutely huge with the Axe in Call of Duty Search and Destroy, and now he pulls out the operator here in Valorant. Let's see if the skills can transfer over, because I'm ready for some of those quick flick actions.
Look at Jovi's econ, 18-8, top fragging with still 8,000 points.
Nutter.
He is playing this
nutter.
perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. Ro, though, no way. Ro ended up getting himself that ult very early on. AJ2K still in the back of sight. What was that? Spraying on through the smoke, and he perfectly gets someone through it. It's a cakewalk here for AJ, and man, what an all-star team this Vikings team has. Even, you know, what could be some bottom fraggers, they all collect frags. Jovi with a double at the end, off the ults, and man, what a round for the defenders. Vikings looking strong, looking to close this one out to make their way into winners finals.
Glad to see Asian Braum using that op. You know, he was talking a lot about it in these past few days. He was talking about it on Twitter, and to see him backing it up is awesome.
Yes,
I
sir.
definitely think he is an amazing sniper, and there are some times where it's like, okay, bud, I'm not too sure if it's key for this play, but he finds a way to make it work. But ladies and gentlemen, if you take a look at your mini-map, you will see it looks like it is going to be a hard stack on the C side, and there is only one player from Team Viking being over there. It is Leaves.
Oh, but he's immediately taken down, and that's going to be Jovi. More or less an all-star for the squad. Going on in with a spray, still looking for yet another frag over to the corner. His teammate, the Sage, healing him up, and he gets overhealed by the Eye. Pulls out the Sheriff, can't get the frag. Bad Rastus going big, has to. Almost full HP, but the white swing from Asian Braum. So ballsy, trying to go for another one off the Frenzy. Still has it in his hands. Oh, baby!
My goodness, Asian Braum!
He makes it look easy, swinging out through the smoke. He stands up. He's just like, yo, who can actually take me on in this server? He's using the automatic pistol on that. None of these players can tap his head, man, and that's easy money. 12-6. The score has been doubled, and now one round away from taking this map and taking winners semis, booting this team of CSGO semi-pros down into losers off of round one.
Asian Braum definitely shushing a lot of the Valorant community. That gun has not really gotten good reviews, and the fact that he is able to pull off a three-piece with it is absolutely mind-blowing. Just proves how insane of a player he can be.
Yes, sir. But let's see how this team can react now that they have a man advantage. You still have Rowe on site, waiting up. Does end up getting a flashover. Oh, that's dangerous. Benji alone with the bomb. Does end up getting the kill onto Rowe, but from behind, Jovi has control of mid. And he ended up taking down one. He has 1 HP, and he's using up the classic. Literally, he's just waiting for a BS kill so he can end up getting that overheal. Either that or that Sage has to go towards him ASAP, which I think will actually happen.
Oh, Jovi manages to get the chill piece with 1 HP, and that heal does come through. Jovi picking off another one.
Oh, my lord.
One more player left. Can he take him out? And he leads him the way of Sulu to close out game number 2.
Bruh.
What an awesome matchup. ECG up 2-0 for Team Viking to bring it to a 5-2. ECG brings it back to a 5-5, and it is history from there. Team Viking will take it 13-6. Jovi top fragging 26 and 9.
Jeez, man. Jovi really proving the hours that he put into this game for the past couple of weeks, grinding this out. He wants to kind of establish himself as a Valorant professional, and he shows up here just fragging out. Perfect usage of the Reyna. Reyna is supposed to be that one solo character that you could just frag out with. That's going to be the same thing with your Phoenix, same thing with your Jet, and again, he takes full advantage. He knows how to tap heads. He knows how to make it look easy. NASCAR swings over from mid. NASCAR swings over in the defending sites, and again and again and again, that attacking team in the Vikings just, well, they made that team of CS semi-pros look like amateurs.
I love that matchup, and I'm hoping we could see it again in the grand finals.
And a BO3 format, too.
In a best of 3, that is correct. I'm hoping to see these two teams match up again, but after seeing how Rock dominated Team Wolves,
right,
I don't know what we're gonna see. I mean,
yeah, that winners finals matchup is definitely going to be interesting because, again, they have a little bit more of a mix to their squad. They're even using a sub this time. Of course, you know, shout outs to Jay Baby. I know, I think he's watching in on stream. I saw him in chat a little bit earlier too. But yeah, no, he was participating in our tournament for the past 2 days. Couldn't be here today, but he's still, you know, watching from home, cheering on his boys. And instead, coming in as the sub is the owner of East Coast Gaming, really the head honcho of this entire project, Henry Caballero, aka Sweet Tomatoes, aka what was his name? Like Dirty Yoda, something.
Daddy Yoda.
Daddy Yoda. Oh my God, what a guy. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have some more esports action coming very, very soon on your screens. If I'm not mistaken, we are going to have either FIFA or yet another game of Valorant coming up, but whatever does happen, ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned here to The Ultimate Gamer as we have some more esports action coming up next. My name is Atmine, joined here by Saber, aka Jacob. We'll be right back.